Hey everyone, and welcome to the Step Forward channel. Every morning, we face a choice. We can wake up and just drift through the day, letting things unfold randomly, or we can proactively set the course for our day. All it takes is a few moments to speak powerful reminders to ourselves, words that aren't just empty motivation, but have the power to shape our mindset, attitude, and drive, moving us closer to the best version of ourselves. These aren't just hollow affirmations, because emptiness can't create real motivation. These aren't just words to make you feel good for a moment. They are core principles, reminders of who you are, where you're headed, and what it takes to get there. Imagine saying these 5 things to yourself every morning. Every single word is like a brick, laying a solid foundation for a meaningful day. Each statement is a dose of strength, a bit of wisdom. Day by day, you build a solid wall, a fortress of purpose and determination that can shield you from life's storms, helping you stay grounded even when challenges hit. And the best part is, when you repeat these things daily, you aren't just reminding yourself of your best version, you are stepping into that version, one day at a time. You turn dots into action, setting your path before you even take the first step. This is a small habit with a massive impact over time. Each of these statements carries its own power, its own role in building a meaningful day. They don't just direct your energy, they shape your choices and remind you of your own capabilities. These sayings are like a compass that helps you stay pointed in the right direction amidst the countless distractions, challenges, and temptations of the day. The goal here isn't perfection, it's progress. It's about creating momentum every morning, every moment, so that when the day is done and you look back, you can probably say, "Today was a good day. Today was a meaningful day." If you agree that a great day starts with the right mindset, hit that like button to spread this positive energy. And don't forget to subscribe to the Success Journey channel so you don't miss out on valuable lessons about self-development, success, and positive thinking. The first thing you should tell yourself every morning is, "Today I take responsibility." Responsibility. It's one of the most powerful words out there. It shapes everything else in your life. When you start your day by taking full responsibility, you are laying the foundation for true strength. Because here's the truth. You can't change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Responsibility means taking hold of those sails, adjusting them, and not blaming the wind, the sea, or the boat. It's the understanding that no matter what happens, you have the power to choose how you respond. And that is real freedom. One of the most liberating things in life is realizing that your circumstances don't define you. How you respond to them does. Responsibility isn't about blame or guilt, it's about control. It's recognizing that you, and only you, are the captain of your own ship. When you say, "Today I take responsibility," you are setting a clear intention to own your choices, be accountable for your actions and attitude, and react to every situation in a way that aligns with your values and goals. So many people live in the blame game. They're quick to point fingers at others, at their circumstances, at the world around them. But here's what I've learned over the years. Blaming others might feel good for a second, but it strips you of your power. The moment you say, "It's their fault," you're also saying, "I can't change this because it's not up to me." And that right there is where you lose control. But responsibility hands the power right back to you. It puts your life back in your hands. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for the world to change, you start changing yourself. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. It doesn't mean you won't have hard days or moments of failure, but it does mean you will own those moments. You'll look at your mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward. When you fail, you don't fall into a pit of shame or self-pity. Instead, you ask yourself, "What happened? What can I learn from this? How can I adjust my course?"
Think about it. A great CEO doesn't blame the economy or the competition when the company struggles. Instead, they step back, assess the situation, and make changes. They take responsibility for the results because they know it's the only way to lead effectively. And you are no different. When you say, "Today I take responsibility," you are stepping into the role of the leader of your own life. You become the CEO of your day. You're making a commitment that no matter what comes your way, you will face it with maturity, resilience, and action. Because the morning is when your mind is at its clearest. It's your chance to set the tone for the day before distractions pull you in every direction. Think of it like calibrating your internal compass. When you say, "Today I take responsibility," you're resetting your mindset to look for solutions instead of problems, to focus on action instead of complaints, and to stay in control instead of letting circumstances control you. Taking responsibility doesn't just change your day, it changes your life. When you stop blaming, stop complaining, and start owning everything within your reach, you become more powerful than you've ever been. And that, my friends, is real strength. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for the perfect circumstances to act. So many people put their dreams, goals, and best intentions on hold because they're waiting for ideal conditions. But here's what I've learned. There is no perfect time. The conditions will never be just right. If you want to move forward, you have to work with what you've got and act now. And that's exactly what responsibility gives you. The courage to act today, right where you are, with what you have. Responsibility also keeps you grounded in reality. It's not about wishful thinking or waiting for a miracle. It's about looking at your current situation and asking, what can I do right now? It's about acknowledging both your opportunities and your limitations and making the most of them. It's a no excuses mindset. And when you bring that mindset into every day, you will start to see results. Success doesn't come from waiting for the ideal. It comes from taking one step at a time, bit by bit, in the real world. When you say, "Today I take responsibility," it's not just a phrase. It's a powerful declaration. It's your way of affirming that whatever happens, you will face it with courage. It's a promise to yourself that you will own your choices, handle your setbacks, and keep moving forward. And when you live with a spirit of responsibility, you don't need someone to push you. You don't need a perfect plan, and you don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You just know that you'll do the best you can with what you have, and that is enough. That sense of responsibility is also contagious. People around you will notice it. Your family, your friends, your colleagues. They will see how you face challenges, how you take initiative instead of complaining, how you don't blame your circumstances. And that has a powerful ripple effect. When you live responsibly, you inspire others to do the same. You become a role model, a source of light that others can follow. And before you know it, you're not just improving your own life, you're helping build a culture of responsibility, resilience, and growth around you. So, every morning when you wake up, take a moment to say it with total conviction. Today I take responsibility. Feel the weight of it, but also feel the power it gives you. Because when you take responsibility, you are freeing yourself from procrastination, from the trap of blame, and from the prison of waiting. You're telling yourself, today I am in charge of my actions, my reactions, and my choices. With that mindset, you step into the day confident, grounded, and ready to make a difference. Responsibility is the starting point for everything. It's the foundation for all the other things you'll remind yourself each morning. If you don't take responsibility, nothing else has a foundation to stand on. But if you own your day, your choices, and your actions, you're already halfway to winning the day. It's the first and most important step. The second thing you should tell yourself every morning is, I am capable.
This phrase may seem simple, but don't underestimate its power. When you affirm this, you're not just talking about your abilities, you're declaring your belief in yourself. It's a reminder that no matter what lies ahead, you have the inner strength to handle it. Think about it. In a world full of doubt, challenges, and setbacks, how often do we really tell ourselves that we are capable? Society is constantly giving us a million reasons to feel like we're not good enough. There's always someone who's faster, smarter, or richer, and this comparison game can make you feel inadequate. But when you start your day by affirming your capability, you are grounding yourself in the reality that you have the skills, the determination, and the strength needed to deal with whatever comes your way. Saying, I am capable every morning isn't about being boastful or arrogant. It's not about blind confidence. It's about acknowledging what you truly possess. There's a saying, all the resources you need are already inside your own mind.
That is absolutely true. Everything you need to face life's challenges is already within you. When you remind yourself of that, you give yourself permission to trust yourself. You may not have all the answers, but you have the ability to find them. Capability doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you'll never fail or make mistakes. It simply means you believe you can handle those failures, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. You don't have to be right all the time. You just have to be willing to give it your best shot and try again if you need to. This is the mindset of resilience. Capability is also like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. When you say, "I am capable" every day, you are programming your mind to see challenges as opportunities instead of threats. Instead of avoiding difficulty, you start to move toward it with curiosity, asking, "What can I learn? How can I grow?" When you adopt this mindset, you'll find that every obstacle can become a stepping stone. And this is one of the most powerful turning points in life, when you stop seeing challenges as things to avoid and start seeing them as chances to grow, to become stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Self-doubt is a powerful thing. It creeps into your thoughts, starting with small things, but if you let it, it will grow bigger and bigger. You might go from doubting one thing you can do to doubting your entire self. And this doubt can paralyze you if you let it take control. But every time you say, "I am capable," you're shrinking that doubt, cutting off its power. You're reminding yourself that fear and challenges don't define you, how you face them does. Think about the times you've done things you once thought were impossible. Remember how certain things seemed so difficult, even insurmountable, but through persistence, focus, and willpower, you overcame them. That is capability in action. And the great thing about capability is that it's built over time. Every time you face a challenge and overcome it, every time you persevere through a tough situation, you're adding another layer of strength to your inner reserves. If you've ever asked yourself, "What if I'm not good enough?" Remember that you don't have to be good enough right away. You just have to keep moving forward. If you've ever wondered, "What if I can't do it?" I always tell people not to be so quick to count themselves out. Just because something is hard doesn't mean you can't do it. In fact, the hard things are often what make us better. Capability isn't about ease or comfort. It doesn't come from only doing what's familiar and safe. It's about having the courage to take action even when things get tough. It's about digging deep, finding that inner strength, and trusting yourself enough to keep going. If you just give yourself a chance, you'll be amazed at what you can actually do. When you say it, "I am capable," you're not just reminding yourself of your abilities, you're setting a standard for yourself. You're saying, "I will not back down from a challenge. I will not let fear, doubt, or anxiety hold me back. I have everything I need to make today a success." And here's the key. When you believe you're capable, you start acting like it. You start approaching problems with more confidence. You start taking on challenges you might have avoided before. You dare to put yourself in situations that demand growth, situations that make you a better person. That's the real beauty of this mindset. It opens new doors because you're no longer afraid of the unknown. You know that whatever happens, you can handle it.
Capability is also about continuous growth. It's not a fixed thing. You don't just reach a certain point and stop. On the contrary, true capability is the realization that you are always a work in progress. You're always learning, always growing, always improving. When you say, "I am capable," you're committing to yourself that you're willing to get better, willing to learn from your mistakes, and willing to become an even better version of yourself. Capability has no ceiling. It's always expanding. And that's why saying this every morning is so powerful. It's a daily reminder that you're not done yet, that you're still growing, still moving forward. I can tell you that when you believe in your own capability, it will affect every aspect of your life. It will impact your relationships, your work, your health, and your goals. People are drawn to those who have self-belief, not because they're arrogant, but because that confidence is magnetic. It's inspiring, it's motivating. Everyone wants to be around people who face life with confidence, who overcome challenges with resilience, and who don't crumble under pressure. When you say, "I am capable" each morning, you are becoming that person. You're creating a model for yourself and for those around you of someone who lives with a solid belief in themselves. So every morning, say it with certainty, "I am capable." Let it remind you of the inner strength you have, the resilience you've built, and the potential you're moving toward. Because capability isn't about knowing all the answers right away. It's about believing you can find them. It's not about having an easy path. It's about believing that no matter where life takes you, you can handle the journey. And that, my friends, is a powerful way to start each day. The third thing you should tell yourself every morning is, "I am grateful." Gratitude is one of those foundational mindsets that can transform not just your day, but your entire life. It's like a lens through which you see the world. When you wake up and say, "I am grateful," you are choosing to focus on what's good, on what you have, on what's working, instead of on what's missing, what's imperfect, or what you wish were different. That one small shift in perspective can make a huge difference. You might be asking, why focus on gratitude? What makes it so important? The reason is that gratitude puts your mind in a state of abundance. It pulls you out of a feeling of lack, out of that endless cycle of chasing more, where you always think you need something else to be happy. Gratitude helps you recognize all that you already have: your health, your family, your skills, the opportunities ahead of you. When you start your day by saying, "I am grateful," you're reinforcing a mindset of abundance, a state of fulfillment. Gratitude is also one of the best ways to combat negativity. Life will always have challenges, setbacks, and difficult moments. But if you can look at those challenges through the lens of gratitude, you'll start to see them differently. You'll realize that even in hardship, there's something valuable to be learned. Gratitude doesn't mean everything is perfect. It just means you can find value in every situation, even the toughest ones. When you learn to be grateful even for the challenges, you're no longer crushed by them. You rise from them. One of the incredible things about gratitude is that it multiplies over time. When you're grateful for the little things, you start to notice them more. Your mind gradually gets programmed to look for blessings, for things to appreciate, for reasons to feel content. And when you look for them, you will find more. It's like a snowball effect. It starts with small things, but gradually you begin to notice the joy in every day, the things that make you feel lucky, the moments that lift your spirit. This isn't just an abstract idea. Studies have shown that grateful people are generally happier, healthier, and more resilient. Why? Because their minds are focused on what's right, not what's wrong. When you say, "I am grateful," you're gearing yourself up with a spirit of resilience. Think about it. If you approach life with gratitude, then even when things don't go as planned, you can still find a reason to keep going. You'll find it easier to say, "Okay, this is a setback, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn. I'm grateful I can become better because of this." That's the difference between being crushed by challenges and rising above them. Gratitude gives you a solid foundation, keeping you focused on what truly matters.
It's important to remember that gratitude isn't about denying reality or pretending everything's perfect. It's about finding the good in every situation, even in adversity. Maybe it's being grateful for a new day, for the chance to grow, for the loved ones in your life, or even for the lessons you've learned from past mistakes. Gratitude doesn't require you to have a perfect life. It just requires you to look for the value in every moment. When you start your day by saying, "I am grateful," you're making a commitment to find that value. Gratitude also has the power to improve your relationships. When you're grateful, you tend to see the good in other people. You appreciate their qualities, their efforts, and even their flaws. Instead of focusing only on what someone hasn't done, gratitude helps you recognize what they've brought to your life. It helps you see the best in others, to be more forgiving, more understanding.
When you say, I am grateful each morning, you're setting yourself up to recognize and appreciate the positive things from those around you. And I can tell you that this not only leads to better relationships, but also creates deeper connections, leading to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Don't forget that gratitude not only helps you feel happier, but also opens new doors in your life. When you're filled with gratitude, people feel that energy. It creates a powerful magnetism, an attraction that makes others want to be around you. Everyone wants to be with someone who sees life with appreciation, rather than someone who is always complaining and focused on the negative. Gratitude not only helps you live a happier life, but it also makes you an inspiration to those around you. So, every morning, take a moment to say that phrase and feel it deeply. I am grateful. Let this statement be the light that guides your day. Let it remind you of all the wonderful things you have. Because gratitude doesn't just change your day, it changes the way you live your life. When you're grateful for what you have, people around you feel that. They are drawn to your positive energy, to someone who sees life through a lens of appreciation, rather than someone who is always complaining and focused on the negative. Gratitude makes you magnetic, creating a positive atmosphere around you. And often, it's this very energy that attracts more opportunities, people, and good experiences into your life. I remember a story about a man who would say thank you for everything, no matter what happened. He was grateful for it all. When something good happened, he'd say thank you. When he faced a hardship, he'd also say thank you, because he believed everything carried a lesson or a hidden blessing. At first, people thought he was strange, but over time they realized he was happier, more peaceful, and more grounded in life. Why? Because he didn't wait for life to be perfect to be happy. He found happiness in what he already had, in the lessons, the experiences, and the small joys of each day. So, when you say, I am grateful each morning, you're creating a spirit of appreciation, a positive state of being. You're reminding yourself that no matter what happens today, there's always something to be thankful for. And that gratitude becomes your guiding light, giving you strength, calm, and a more positive perspective on everything around you. Imagine if you stepped into your day with that kind of mindset. Instead of rushing through things, you pay attention to the small moments. You appreciate the smallest successes. You feel the kind words, the simple joys. Life is made of moments like these. And when you are grateful, you start to see that every day is rich and full in its own way. That doesn't mean you don't have big goals, but you don't wait until you achieve them to feel whole. You find fulfillment right here on the journey, in the people you meet, in your own growth, in the lessons you learn. Gratitude is also a powerful form of humility. It helps you realize you didn't achieve everything on your own, that there were people, opportunities, and circumstances that helped you get to where you are today. By practicing gratitude, you recognize that you're part of something bigger. You're not just grateful for what you've done, but also for what you've received, for the experiences that have shaped you. And it's this humility that keeps you grounded, helping you realize that life is a gift, that every day is an opportunity, and that there is always something to be thankful for.
So every morning, before you rush into a new day, take a moment to say this with sincerity. I am grateful. Let this phrase sink in, reminding you of all the good things in your life. Let it bring you back to the present, helping you remember the people who have walked with you, the opportunities that lie ahead, and the valuable lessons you've learned. Because gratitude isn't just a word, it's a state of mind. And when you start your day with gratitude, you're setting yourself up to see the world with more positive, appreciative, and inspired eyes. The fourth thing you should tell yourself every morning is, I am focused on growth. When you declare that you're focused on growth, you are choosing a path of constant improvement. You're telling yourself, every day, I am committed to being better than I was yesterday, no matter how slow or challenging that growth may be. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every day, a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more capable. This one simple statement can shift your entire mindset. It pulls you out of your comfort zone, out of the need for ease and certainty, and directs you toward change, learning, and development. Because comfort feels good, but it doesn't create progress. It keeps you right where you are. But growth is different. It requires embracing difficulty. And when you say, "I am focused on growth," you are giving yourself permission to step into new things, to test your own limits, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward despite the challenges. Growth requires humility, the humility to admit that there's always more to learn. It's the awareness that no matter how much you know, there's a vast world of knowledge out there waiting for you to explore. When you choose to focus on growth, you keep your mind open, ready to learn from everyone and every situation around you. You become a sponge, soaking up knowledge, experiences, and life lessons. And this is the best thing about growth. It turns every experience into a chance to mature, every failure into a lesson, and every obstacle into a stepping stone. When you start each day with a growth mindset, you won't be easily shaken by failure or discouraged by difficulties. You won't see them as endpoints, but as part of the journey, an opportunity to build strength and resilience. However, growth is not a straight line. It's not a smooth uphill path. Sometimes you'll feel like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. But if you persist, if you keep telling yourself, "I am focused on growth," you'll realize that every day, every small effort contributes to your progress. You'll be building a stronger foundation, a sharper mind, and a better ability to face life. A growth mindset also brings resilience. When you're committed to growing, you're not easily defeated. You're not held back by temporary setbacks or fear. Why? Because you know that even when things don't go according to plan, there's something valuable in the experience. Growth helps you embrace uncertainty, dare to take risks, and proactively face challenges. You're no longer afraid of failure because you start to see it as an essential part of the growth process, something that will teach you, shape you, and help you become better. Another interesting thing about focusing on growth is that it opens new doors. When you're constantly learning, improving, and expanding your skills, people will notice. Better opportunities will come to those who are willing to change, adapt, and commit to excellence. Life often gives chances to those who are ready to receive them. So when you say, "I am focused on growth," you're not just setting the right mindset, you're preparing yourself for bigger opportunities in the future. You're building the skill set and mindset needed to make the most of those opportunities when they appear. Growth requires patience. There will be times when you feel like you're putting in a lot of effort but not seeing immediate results. But by focusing on growth, you remind yourself that all progress takes time. Imagine it like planting a seed. At first, you don't see anything change, but if you consistently water it and nurture it, that seed will gradually sprout, take root, and eventually grow into something strong and beautiful. And your growth is just like that. You may not see the change immediately, but if you keep putting in the effort day after day, you'll be amazed at what you achieve in the future.
Moreover, a growth mindset helps you stop comparing yourself to others. Everyone's growth journey is different. When you focus on growth, you're only focused on yourself, on your own journey. You no longer care who is going faster or further than you. You only care that you are moving forward, whether slow or fast. Growth also means embracing challenges. When you tell yourself, "I am focused on growth," you're preparing to face difficulties with a whole new attitude. You no longer avoid what's hard or unfamiliar. You start to approach them proactively because you know that the toughest times are often the times you grow the most. A growth mindset also helps you adapt to change. Life is constantly changing, and when you're committed to growth, you have the ability to respond to those changes with flexibility. You're not knocked down by the unexpected. Instead, you accept them as part of the journey, an opportunity to grow even more.
So every morning, take a moment to tell yourself, I am focused on growth. Let this statement inspire you to face challenges, to proactively seek opportunities, and to constantly improve yourself. Because growth doesn't just make you better, it helps you build a more meaningful, valuable, and fulfilling life, one day at a time. Growth is like a seed. You might not see the results right away, but if you patiently nurture it, one day it will grow into something strong and beautiful. When you tell yourself, I am focused on growth, it also means you stop comparing yourself to others. Growth is a personal journey. No two are alike. When you focus on growth, you only care about your own journey and progress, instead of worrying about whether others are moving faster or slower. Comparing yourself to others can rob you of your joy, but a growth mindset will help you stay focused on your own path. You don't need to race against anyone. Your only goal is to be better than you were yesterday, and that is one of the most powerful mindsets you can have. Growth also means embracing challenges. When you say, I am focused on growth, you're preparing yourself to face obstacles from a new perspective. Instead of avoiding things that are difficult or unfamiliar, you proactively step into them because you understand that the hardest experiences are often the ones that help us grow the most. Think back to the challenging periods in your life. Weren't those the times you learned the most, became stronger, and understood yourself better? When you focus on growth, you actively turn challenges into opportunities to build strength, wisdom, and resilience. Growth isn't always easy, and it isn't always comfortable, but it's one of the most worthwhile journeys you can take. When you commit to growth, you not only improve yourself, but also enrich your life, build deeper relationships, and create a future that aligns with your highest potential. And when you make growth your daily focus, you'll start to see the world from a different perspective. You'll recognize opportunities where you once saw barriers. You'll find lessons in situations where you once saw only disappointment. You'll understand that every day is a chance to become better, wiser, and stronger. And over time, those small steps will add up, taking you to places you once thought you couldn't reach, helping you achieve things that once seemed out of grasp. Growth isn't about speed. It's about direction. What matters isn't how fast you're moving, but that you're heading in the right direction. So every morning, when you say, I am focused on growth, you are putting yourself on the path toward your greatest potential. It's a commitment to live with purpose, with intention, and to constantly reach for more, every single day. The fifth and final thing you should tell yourself every morning is, I control my attitude. Attitude is an invisible force, but it can shape your entire experience of life. It determines how you face challenges, how you interact with others, and even how you see yourself. There's one important thing you need to remember. You can't always control your circumstances, but you can always control your attitude. When you say, I control my attitude, you're reminding yourself that no matter what happens today, you have the power to decide how you will respond.
Attitude is a choice. Every day, every hour, every moment, we get to decide. We can choose positivity or sink into negativity. We can see the good in others or focus only on their flaws. We can look for opportunities or see only barriers. This choice shapes everything else in your day. When you say, I control my attitude, you are empowering yourself rather than letting circumstances or emotions dictate your mood. Why is attitude so important? Because attitude is the line between success and failure. It's what separates those who overcome adversity from those who are crushed by it. It's what keeps you standing when things get tough. It's what pulls you up when life tries to drag you down. The right attitude will make you resilient, strong, and unstoppable. But a negative attitude can turn even the smallest challenges into something insurmountable. When you say, I control my attitude, it's like setting an anchor for yourself. No matter what the day brings, you commit to responding with positivity, patience, and strength. And let's be real, life isn't always going to be smooth sailing. There will be days when things don't go according to plan. There will be times when people disappoint you. There will be unexpected challenges that pop up. That's just life. But here's what matters. Even when everything is out of your control, there's one thing you can always control, and that is your attitude.
and that will make all the difference. Think of it this way. Your attitude is like the lens through which you see the world. If you wear dark-colored glasses, the world will always look gloomy, no matter how bright the sun is shining. But if you wear a clear pair of glasses, you'll see the light. You'll see opportunities. You'll see possibilities, even on the toughest days. When you say, "I control my attitude," you are choosing which lens you will use to see the world today. You are choosing to see life with clarity, hope, and determination. Attitude also affects how you treat others. It determines how you react to the words, actions, and behaviors of everyone around you. When you maintain a positive attitude, you become more patient, more understanding, and more willing to listen. You see people's strengths instead of just focusing on their mistakes. You know how to appreciate the good things that others bring, and you learn to be more forgiving. This makes you someone everyone wants to be around. A good attitude doesn't just improve your life, it enriches the lives of those around you. And here's something I've learned over the years. Attitude isn't something you set once and then forget about. It's something you have to constantly adjust throughout the day. You might start the morning with a positive attitude, but then a problem pops up. A careless word hurts you. An unexpected challenge arises, and suddenly your attitude is put to the test. This is where the real work begins. It's in those moments that you have to remind yourself, "I control my attitude." You take a deep breath, regroup, and choose again. You choose patience, positivity, and inner strength. Attitude determines the quality of your inner life. Without the right attitude, even the most beautiful moments can feel dull. But with the right attitude, even the most ordinary moments can become memorable and meaningful. When you choose a positive and resilient attitude, you're building a sense of peace and joy that doesn't depend on external circumstances. You're creating a solid inner world that isn't shaken by the little things that happen during the day. I'll be straight with you. It's not always easy. There will be days when it feels like everything is against you. There will be times when you feel your patience is running thin, when you feel frustrated and angry. But it's precisely in those moments that this commitment becomes most important. When you say, "I control my attitude," you are preparing yourself to face those challenges. You're reminding yourself that no matter how hard it gets, you can still choose how you respond. So every morning, take a moment to tell yourself, "I control my attitude." Let this statement be your guide to stay focused, calm, and determined. Because when you control your attitude, you control how you experience life. And when you control how you experience life, you are truly in control of your own destiny.
When frustration and anger rise, it's in those very moments that your commitment becomes strongest. When you tell yourself, "I control my attitude," you're preparing your mind to face challenges. You're reminding yourself that no matter how difficult the situation, you can choose to navigate it with strength and composure. Gratitude is also deeply connected to attitude. When you're grateful, you focus on the good things in life, on what you have and what's going well. It helps you feel abundant instead of deprived. And from that state of gratitude, maintaining a positive attitude becomes much easier. You'll be more patient, more understanding, and more resilient when you realize your life is full of things to appreciate. Another crucial aspect of attitude is that it's contagious. People feel your energy. They are influenced by your attitude. If you walk into a room with optimism and a can-do spirit, people will feel it. They'll feel encouraged, inspired, and uplifted. Conversely, if you carry a negative attitude, it can drag down the energy of an entire room. This is why great leaders are always known for their attitude. They don't let their emotions or circumstances dictate how they show up. They proactively choose their attitude, and that choice influences everyone around them. When you say, "I control my attitude," you're not just making a commitment to yourself. You're becoming a role model, a source of encouragement for others.
You're showing people a resilient, positive, and powerful way to live. You're becoming a source of motivation, a reminder that no matter how challenging life gets, you always have the power to choose your response. And that, my friend, is one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself and to those around you. Attitude has a massive impact on your goals and achievements. When you approach your goals with a positive and resilient attitude, you'll take more action, persevere longer, and refuse to give up when things get tough. But with a negative attitude, even the smallest obstacles can make you discouraged. The wrong attitude can make you give up on your dreams, lose motivation, and let doubt take over your mind. But with the right attitude, you will stay focused, committed, and keep moving forward. You'll see failure as temporary, as an opportunity to learn and grow. And it's that attitude that will lead you to success. So every morning, tell yourself with determination, I control my attitude. Remind yourself that no matter what happens today, you have the power to choose how you react. You can choose positivity. You can choose focus. You can choose resilience. You can set the tone for the entire day, deciding how you'll interact with others and how you'll experience every moment. And that choice will help you overcome anything life throws your way. With a positive attitude, you'll be ready to face the day. You'll welcome challenges with courage. You'll treat others with kindness. You'll pursue your goals with determination. You'll live fully in each moment, present and enjoying everything that's happening. And that, my friend, is a powerful way to live. Every morning, as you step into a new day, take a moment to be still with these words. Remember that you are setting a powerful intention for the day, an intention to live with purpose, to express the best version of yourself, and to act in line with your values. These aren't just fleeting words. They are your guide, the metal that forges who you are. Life is full of distractions, unexpected challenges, and moments of self-doubt. But when you start your day with clarity, with purpose, with a reminder of your own strength and worth, you will be ready for anything. You bring your focus back to what you can control, your attitude, your mindset, and your actions. You are creating a solid foundation on which to build a day full of meaning, resilience, and strength.
Each morning is an opportunity, a blank page for you to paint the picture of your day. And with these words, you're not just setting a positive tone for yourself. You're preparing to contribute your best self to the world. Treat these morning moments as a chance to orient yourself, to remember what's truly important, and to step into the day with confidence and clarity. These small, intentional acts are the building blocks of a meaningful life, built one day at a time. And when you start each morning with these powerful words, you are choosing to step into life with purpose, with belief, and with a powerful mindset. Embrace it. Every morning, you have a choice to shape your day, align your mindset with your goals, and step into the best version of yourself. When you affirm these 5 powerful statements, you're not just speaking words, you're committing yourself to growth, resilience, and success. Today, I take responsibility. You own your actions, your choices, and your future. I am capable. You trust in your ability to overcome challenges and create opportunities. I am grateful. You focus on abundance and appreciate what you have. I am focused on growth. You embrace learning, challenges, and progress. I control my attitude. You decide how to respond to everything in your life. These affirmations, repeated daily, will become the foundation for success, clarity, and a fulfilling life. This isn't just motivation, this is a way of life. If these words resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these 5 statements hits home the most for you? How do you plan to apply them in your daily life? Leave a comment, we'd love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button to let us know you enjoyed this content. Share this video with your friends and family, because you never know, this might be the exact message they need to hear. Subscribe to the Success Journey channel so you don't miss out on valuable lessons about self-development, success, and positive thinking. Your journey starts with a single decision, the decision to act. Let's grow together, one morning at a time. See you in the next video.